Hello, everyone. I know I went on a little early. Hello. Hi, 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 hi. Angel, Jeremiah, Silver, Rachel. Hello. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Morning, Rosa. Morning, meme. Rosa, I am going to message you back. I have a couple questions about what you DM'd me. I just didn't get a chance to do it this morning. And I fell asleep watching Kelly last night, so I didn't get a chance to watch it last night. So. The oil prices are continuing to go up. Who'd have thunk that? Who's surprised by that? Hi, Kia. Hey, Laura. Even with the announcement of the release of oil from the strategic reserve, it's still going up. Wow. Who'da thunk that one? Nothing surprises me these days. Oh, I know. Oh, I mean, gas? Yeah, gas. Unfortunately, gas and oil don't always coincide either. I think that's the other thing people don't realize. Yes, oil prices going up will cause gas to go up, but it's not always oil that causes gas prices to go up, which is why oil increasing and decreasing in supply doesn't always change anything. So I decided today, even though I put, something about Iran at the top, that we're going to talk about something else. I mean, I'm sure it'll get brought up and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but as a whole, we're going to pick one of the other crazy things going on in the world to talk about today other than that one. Of course. 100% true. It's what I also have been trying to get out. So it was a great video. I, as a white person, as much as I can get anything out like that. Hi, Jen. We need to start talking about the files again. We will as a whole. There's not a ton of new data out. I know Bondi's going to be doing that hearing. That'll bring it back in. Hold on one second. Sorry. My daughter accidentally spilled some of her coffee on her keyboard So we were dealing with that right before the live. So she just had some questions. It's 7:30 and starting to get light again. Yes. Did you see the bowling AI video? I feel like I saw it. You know what video I did see that you have to look up? They made an AI video of Trump being in the Harry Potter world. Is really funny. Like they didn't, the White House didn't. Somebody else did. It's really funny. Morning, Jose. Now I need to find the video. Is it? I'm assuming it's. Is it the pins? Hold on. It's got to be this one. Hold on.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it! Here comes the heat from the USA. Boom! Pins down. What a strike! That's right. Who do you think you are?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Oh, yeah. Wasn't so dignified and professional. Keg's Breath came out with a new video too that I saw someone talking about, and it's pretty it's just disgusting. It's all disgusting. It's all disgusting. It's all disgusting. Right, but Kamala laughed. Yep. But again, the people that voted him in don't see that as disgusting. That's part of the problem. That's a lot of the problem. People probably, his supporters probably watched that and were like, yeah, America. Hey, Summer. Apparently, the media can no longer take pictures at briefings because pictures of Hegseth wasn't flattering. I mean, to be fair, this is the same guy that said the media needs to stop needs to stop talking about the service members that died because it makes Trump look bad. So is it the one where he just went like this? He thinks that's the worst picture of him? I guarantee there are worse pictures of him. New law: politicians cannot bring a lawsuit against anyone while holding office. He's like frowning. Yeah. He thinks that's the worst picture of him? Oh, gosh. That is not the worst picture of him. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. They're way worse. Yeah. We're down to business now. Yep. Let's get down. That's as much as I don't want to get demonetized. I saw a report that said that James Cornyn, the guy who's running for Senate in Texas, the current senator of Texas who's running for re-election, has decided that he is now okay getting rid of the filibuster so the SAVE Act can pass because he has been told that he would get Trump's endorsement if the SAVE Act passed. So that's a thing. This reality TV show needs to be canceled and players stuffed in a box out of the light. Turn off my snarky attitude this morning. I mean, to be fair, you don't. All of the it would never happen could very well happen. I still don't think it'll happen. But, I mean, again, that's why I never say never. I never will say it could never happen. I just won't use that word. Especially with in 2026. That being said, I still don't think it's got the numbers to pass. Y'all heard that the DOJ and VA teamed up for veterans conservatorships? No, I have not. Oh yeah, it would be absolutely held up in courts. That would work its way all the way up to the Supreme Court for sure. I think what you're seeing a lot of people do is focusing on things that they have control of. I hear what you're saying, Rosa. And yeah, I don't like it when people just completely brush it off. I think it's important that we mention that it's a possibility and what it would look like if it happened, or how they could get it to happen. But also, as we know, I mean, Rosa, you and I talked about it. We can only focus on so many things. And right now we're almost overstimulated with how much stuff we're scared about. And I think while paying attention to the realities are important, I don't think that's something that we can worry about. The part that's scary is that they're even trying. Sure. Yeah. I mean, this whole administration for all 4 years, we knew was going to be scary. Yep. And I think he's going to try other things. A lot of other things. Splitting my brain between local, national, global events has become quite a feat. Cirque du Soleil would hire me for mental contusion. What channel do you prefer? Articles? I mean, if it's about political stuff, it can go into politics. What's with Lindsey Graham? I think Lindsey Graham is a little sick up here too. From being honest, I think Lindsey Graham is a little sick in the head. He is losing his damn mind. Yeah, I mean, that can go into politics. That's fine. Morning, Ambrosia. Ambrosia, did you see my response in Discord? Oh, no, no, no. I just want to make sure you saw it. There's no rush. They're willing to do that to veterans. What does it mean for disabled non-veterans? Yep. Yeah. 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 Anyone brought up Arizona yet? No. What happened in Arizona? Afraid to ask. FBI is investigating 2020. Good that that's what we're using all of our funds on. When I say it, I said again. I said it before and I will say it again. This administration will go down in history as the most corrupt and wasteful and incompetent administration to ever hold office, bar none. I don't think the SAVE Act will pass, personally. I do not think it will. Even ones in states. I think it will get overturned as being unconstitutional. That's my opinion. You're listening to a black vet speaking about the homeless vet stuff. FBI is suing different states for their voting information. Of course they are. All this while DHS is still shut down, and TSA people are leaving in droves. Hey, Mr. Wallace. Republican leader Aaron. Let me find. Look at. Department of Veteran Affairs and Department of Justice have signed a memorandum of understanding that will help some of Americans' most vulnerable veterans get the ongoing care they need via CARES. MOU gives DOJ the authority to appoint VA attorneys as special assistant U.S. attorneys. That appointment will give VA attorneys the legal authority to initiate and participate in state court guardianship and conservatorship proceedings in cases where a legal decision maker is required for post-acute transitions of care for these vulnerable veterans. So does Arizona State Senate have the right to hand over the 2020 records related to the 2020 presidential election? I guess that's my big question. I didn't think like a state senator had the authority to do something like that. I thought that was up to the secretary or the AG or something like that. Damage being done will not be no. It's going to take a generation. I'm sure they do if there's new evidence. No, that's not how it works. Again, the question is, does he have the authority to do that? That's my question. I understand that he did it, and I understand why he did it. My question is, does he have the authority to do it? Respect my authority. Friend who isn't bothered too much what's going on, because as soon as we can get him out, they will just put everything back. Yeah, no. That ain't how it works. That ain't how it works. That ain't how it works. No, you're fine, Q. What did they learn from Fulton County? I'm sure they learned nothing. Again, this administration lies through their teeth. So what they actually learned and what they say they learned are going to be totally different. What's up, Ghost? Morning, Obi. I know it's been so long, Shawnee. Whew. Like forever. Been like forever. Morning, Lori. Yeah, Crime Lord. It's look, this is just the world that we live in. And again, we need to talk about it. Hey, Courtney. We need to be aware of it. We need to know that it's going to happen. And then we need to do what we can do and prepare for possibilities. That's why we talk about what could happen. Not because we always have control, but we need to understand what it would mean if things go the way they're going. But in the end, we can't worry about it all because we can't control everything. Happy Friday Eve. Hey, Ziggy. Hey, Lou. But yeah, in the end, the hardest part is you cannot trust anything that comes out of this administration's mouth. Whatever they say, especially on camera, is a lie. Straight out lie. 99% of the time. And even that 1% often is a kind of an adjustment on the truth. Morning, Frodo. You mean this?
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
Grandpa tells, like, when he lies, he moves his hands a lot. He lies when he moves his mouth. Crime Lord. Yes. I'm sure that is also true, but in the grand scheme of things, he is moving his mouth, which probably means he's lying. Apparently, I'm full of thoughts today because I have thoughts on that too. I mean, we all got thoughts. We all got thoughts. And there's a lot going on, so it's easy to have thoughts on it. Accountability, it wasn't even a word. Affordability wasn't a word until Donald J. Trump decided to run for office. And then all of a sudden, Democrats can't stop talking about affordability. The fact is Donald J. Trump made up the word affordability. No one had even heard of this word until Donald J. Trump started using it. Enjoyed the Andrew Rice interview? Thank you. Hey, Eleanor. Grocery. It's an old word, grocery. I always thought the food just came to me because I am Donald J. Trump and things just come to me. Oh, poor Joey. He's too much in his feelings. Oh man, Andrew. How does it feel to know you will never, ever get to stand in my shadow? I know you want to, but it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. What's up, Ash? I'm sorry. Oh, forget this crap. Seriously, Chrissy. $4 a dozen ain't cheap. Nope. Yes, prices gone down does not mean things are cheap. Oh yeah, they'll use that to argue that it's affordable. Yep. Morning, Jose. How are you? I mean, I've already said this before. What's going to happen is gas prices, oil prices, all of that stuff is going to go down after it's gone up. So it's not going to go lower than what it was when he started. It's going to go back down from the crazy high to like what it was a month ago. And he's going to say, "Look, prices went down. Prices went down. I told you they would," even though they've gone up. So they're not really going down. They're going back to where they were when they were already high. I I work in freight, and shipping rates are all over the place because companies use the DOE as a bar for fuel. Diesel is currently sitting at $4.89 per gallon. Yep. I miss the 90s gas was 86 cents a gallon. Wouldn't that be nice? I just bought 18 ounces of blueberries. It cost me $8. Dang. The stock market has set 15 all-time records, and it will do it again. Yeah, all that does is make the top 1% have more money. The world is not a safer place. World is a safer place. I'm sure that's what the guy who ran 1930s Germany was thinking he was doing. No, the stock market is not an accurate reflection on the economy. Not anymore. Not anymore. Jen, people are unaware of a lot of things. You're getting muster orders right now? No. I don't know what the IRR is, but muster orders just doesn't sound good in any way, shape, or form. Muster order, my understanding is that's like getting ready for deployment kind of a thing. Muster the troops means get them all together for like a deployment or something. Morning, Alejandra. Happy Thursday. I mean, there is no guarantee that that's what it means. Individual ready reserve. Thank you. I'm on inactive reserves. I was prior 82nd Airborne, got out 2023, but my 8 years finish 2027. Ugh. So they're mustering inactive reserves? That's not good at all. Like, that's not good at all. Could just be to know where I'm located. I mean, it's not good no matter what, you know? It's one of those, hopefully, it's nothing major, but it's the fact that you are inactive reserves and they're bringing you in for any reason is not good. No one should feel good about that. I'm so glad I got my DD214, and sorry for those who haven't. I miss the 90s when my parents paid for everything. Ah! Truth. Ships are getting hit in the strait, so we're going to see a lot of disruptions. Oh, yeah. Tons. Tons of disruption. And they're sending boats into the strait that aren't equipped and designed for finding mines to try and find the mines that were laid. It's about time somebody... This isn't shaking anything up. This is continuing the exact same thing that has been happening for decades in this country and in the world. There's nothing shooken up. No, they did not get all of the mining boats. They at most got about 20% of them. But cool story, bro. You think they only had 13 mining boats? Welcome to... Wait.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Sorry, I just like doing that. That's the funny thing, is the people that support this administration and think they're actually making changes and don't realize that what's happening is so normal. It's just not being hidden anymore. That is so high school. All right. You think I'm a high schooler? Both sides would have done this? No, they wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have. Nope. Nope. That's 1,000,000% nope. Both sides would not have done this. Now, I know that's what you tell yourself in order to justify this country doing shitty things, but it's not true. My son is active duty. The aircraft carrier wrecked into a ship on the Strait of Hormuz. If that is true, I haven't seen the reports on that, but if that's true, that's obviously not good at all. Every president has been bought and paid for. Okay. America will boom after. Oh, gosh.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
All this deflection from the e-files. Crime Lord, you're good. You're good. I know they think they're doing that. They're not. I know they think they're deflecting from it. They're not. If anything, they're actually plastering a big spotlight on it. President is a warmonger. Yeah. Yeah. The man who ran on no new wars just started a new war. The man who ran on lowering prices has caused everything to go up. The man who ran on releasing the e-files is doing everything in his power to not release the e-files. And yet there are still people that support him. I wish. What do I wish? What do you think I wish? Everything I said. Oh. Good talk, bro. More debt in 1 year in history. Yep, and it's going up. It's going up. All but, what did they say? 5% of the money that they have spent since the start of this war was actually budgeted. Everything else they have spent, they are basically taking loans out for. And again, do I think every president is perfect? No. I'm more than willing to call out every president for every shitty thing I think that they do. But if you think that you can justify what this president is doing because other presidents did shitty things, you've lost the plot. I didn't read that, Crime Lord. That is really sad. And I don't want to read it, but oh, he didn't stop any wars. Literally none. They're all still going on. Hey, Mike. Oh yeah, Philip. They're all on a ball. They're all on the ball over here. All right, community people can come up if they want. Yes, bent crude is up. It's all up.
Perfect timing. I just finished making my coffee.
There you go. Yeah,
Good morning.
actually,
Good
bent
morning, Pat.
crude is at 99. It's basically at 100 right now, like literally at this moment. Brent crude, sorry.
Kathy's comment, I almost it made another thought pop into my head, but I was like, I forgot I'm on TikTok.
Mm.
Keep it to myself. Let's just say in more ways than one.
Hello, Zora. Hey, Tilo.
I'm gonna call my dad today and
Yeah, I saw
ask
that.
him what he thinks about this whole situation with the VA and the homeless vets and all this. I'm curious. Listening to Papa Storm talk about it, you could just hear the passion in his voice. You could just, his breathing is just so fucking gross on so many levels.
I saw 3 ICE agents trying on various coats yesterday out of the back of a car, including fake police windbreakers after parking on the sidewalk. Yep. Yep.
Are we great? Let her fucking laugh. Like, I find myself saying that, like, when I see articles drop, whether or not I actually read them or I just see the part of the headline that drops, and so I find myself saying, but her laugh.
I know. I know.
Oh,
Trust me. I completely know.
and I try to tell myself, but she didn't win. But that, it's still, I just still can't. It's just like, oh, it's
No,
You know what I
I
mean?
get it.
Ugh.
We were never good. I have no idea where the great part came from. Again, partially it all depends on what you're comparing us to when you make that statement. The problem is what they are comparing it to make that statement is so wrong. It doesn't, like, anyone that doesn't laugh at those statements by people saying that we're going to make America great. Like, I was watching there's an economist who does a different podcast that I watch. And she was talking about this book that was written talking about the realities of the quote unquote greatest generation and how everything that we thought that we have been told about that generation like is pretty much just a lie in terms of their greatness. Like, if you look at a lot of like the statistics, the amount of divorces, the amount of ABs, the amount of like all the things that we thought was quote that like they hit all of those numbers, and it's just wild to me.
Bruh.
Yes, the job market is struggling in a lot of places.
See, Tilo, the thing is, I think and I say this like respectfully, but you don't get to tell people how they feel because people's experiences in this country, like me as a Black person, like I've never thought the US was good. There's been a lot of shitty things that we've done that we continue to do, like literally my entire life. The life of all my ancestors, my family still active. Like, so I think it really depends. Do we have some good things about us? Do we have some things that are better than other places? Sure, but there is a lot of other places that have a lot better things that we do and do it in better ways than we do. And that's said as somebody who was born here and has been here almost 30, 40, 36. Damn. Have I started cheating my age? As someone who's been here for almost 46 years, I feel that even more so now than ever.
And again, it always depends on what you compare it to. But the reality is this country has never been great, especially for people in marginalized communities. It has never been. Again, have good things still come out of this entire country over the history of it? Sure. But you probably could technically say that about almost any country. That does not mean that the country as a whole was great. And again, the reason that we specifically say it is the people that are saying that they want America to be great again are comparing it to a point where it definitely wasn't great. Like, what they want to go back to is worse for a whole load of people. Sure, if you compare us to North Korea, sure, we seem great. We may seem great. That doesn't mean that we are. Once or if you travel outside of the country, you will throw together. No. Hell yeah. No, Steve. I've traveled out of the country tons of times. And nope. I actually wish I could stay in a lot of the places that I traveled to.
There goes that good old Americanacity. I agree, snarky old veteran lady, on so many. There's so many. Like, you could literally take all the bits and pieces and bobs between the slave catchers, the smotsies, the and North Korea, like all of the different things. And I mean, that's where you can literally, I think, pull different parts of all of it, and we're sitting right there. And then we just have to add new shit because, like, drones, you know, they didn't have drones and stuff like that. I just think we have to get over that feeling that we are the best at everything. I think if we could get past that, and we could, other countries or other places that do things better than we do, if we could get over ourselves and be like, hey, we'd really like to learn, because of course we're bigger than most other countries, and things would have to be, you know, done in a different size, but like, hey, be willing to say, how do you do that? How do you make it work? And then we could try to make it fit us. But of course, we're great and all, so why would we do anything like that?
Okay, so again, this is why it's important that we talk about these things. First off, Pablo, why would I want to go to another country when I would rather do what I can to make this country actually great for everyone that lives here? That idea that because I don't like it is a ridiculous statement, because you guys, all of you that didn't like Biden when he was president, you guys didn't leave, did you? No, you stayed here and whined and complained for 4 years. So telling anyone that they should just leave if they don't like it is hypocritical to the fact that you guys didn't do it either. So we're ending that conversation. But in terms of other countries, Steve, you've been to 8 countries and some were good, but some you couldn't wait to leave. Okay. We're not saying that all countries are great. There's a lot of problems in a lot of countries. Some of them are similar to what we have. Some of them are completely different. That's not in question. The problem with this idea of making America great is not that they want to make America great. It's that what they want to turn America into is, by all intents and purposes, even worse than the problems we have now. It's going backwards. It's not going forwards. And again, the problem with the idea of great is it's a relative term. It is completely subjective. We can always take one little piece that might be really good in this country and compare it to another country that is really bad and say, oh, we're great because we don't have to deal with X, Y, or Z. But you are correct, Rosa. If you're talking universally as a whole, no, of course we're not. And we never have been. This country was literally built. Every law that has been made is still built on the basis of the racism that existed in the country, in this country, when this country was formed. And if you can't see that, if you can't understand that, you are being purposefully ignorant. Which, again, I can't control you being that way or not. You literally have technically any right to be that way if you so choose. By the way, hi Kelly. I'm sorry I forgot to say hi. I was in my mode. But don't expect to be a part of the conversation, to have a real conversation, if you're unwilling to realize and accept the realities of what we're dealing with. Again, do we know that in many ways it could be worse here? Of course we know that. Of course we know that. That does not make us good. The ability to be worse does not make it good. It just doesn't make us the worst ever. Do I think that Trump can actually back out of Iran over the oil? I think he is stuck in it until... So again, I talked about this yesterday. Mr. Global said that it's about, in about 3 weeks from the start, the world will hit a point of no return. And they, by the very nature of the fact of what the loss of not just the oil, but all of the energy, natural gas, etc., by the very nature of the disruption that will be caused, many countries will bring their own fleets over to force open the strait. It will take months and months, if not even longer in some cases, to get supply chains back up to where they were, because they have shut down pumping, they have shut down refineries, they've shut down a lot of stuff because of what happened. They're going to have to send ships through the strait to check for mines before any ship will be willing to drive through there. It is not going to be fast.
And those insurance companies have to be willing to pick back up, and because they're not going to take those ships through. If those insurance companies are not going to insure their loads, they are not going through. Even it doesn't matter who says that it's clear. If the insurance
That's why
companies
everything
know,
can't be made in America. That's a dumb statement. Literally everything cannot be made in America. Oil is a global market. It doesn't matter how much we make here. No, it did not used to be. Everything did not used to be made here.
tell me you don't know what you're talking about without telling me.
That has never been the case.
Jesus.
But no. Yes, do your research. Oh, I have. You obviously haven't. There has never been a point in the history of this country where everything that we have ever used has been made fully here. Never. Not one moment in the history of this country. Not one. Nope, not even in the Industrial Revolution. Not one moment. Not one moment in this entire country's history has everything been made here.
Pablo can try again tomorrow. But Jesus, no. Oh my God. Oh my God.
New statement from Ayatollah released 20 minutes ago. He said the crucial Strait of Hormuz should remain closed and that Iran will continue its firing upon its Gulf neighbors. Great. Wonderful. Ready for oil to go up even more? I am.
Especially if shit keeps coming out. And I didn't verify, didn't read through or see, saying that, oh boy, and you know who I'm talking about, the big orange one, is saying we've won already. Just keep poking and we're not just poking a bear, we're poking like a giant fucking polar bear, you know, where there's no man on earth that's even close to a polar bear. And I mean, we just keep poking it, and now that it's been confirmed that thing that came out of the sky, we are the ones. I refuse to fucking say that. That the U.S., that the incompetent leaders of those folks were the ones that dropped that and did that to all those girls and those people in that school. What do they think is going to happen?
Stock market tanking. Holy.
What's it down at now?
Its Dow is down 1.18%. S&P is down 1.1%. Nasdaq is down 1.5%. CCP, other countries should. Other countries should. And I wouldn't blame you. Other countries should. They also used AI. So that's somewhat normal, Douglas. What makes what happened show the incompetence is yes, 1.5% is tanking. Yes. Yes, 1.5% is tanking.
How many points is that? Like, I don't know the percentages as well. I do
So in
better
the
with
NASDAQ, that's 345 points.
Okay.
So it closed yesterday at 22,716, and right now it's at 22,370. So what makes what happened ridiculous and really bad is they decided to attack without updating any of their intel.
The GPS coordinates, yep.
Well, it's not even there. The map they used, the shots they used were old shots of that area before that school was built. So they didn't even know there was a school there when they fired the weapons.
I'm just saying that's how they're putting it in the news, is that it's bad GPS stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because of the
That's
fact
what they're saying.
because
Gotcha.
of the fact that it was old, because that's what, when WRAL covered it, that's what they talked about. They showed, because of the fact that they used the old maps, like you're saying, that they didn't have updated intel, GPS pictures, would have shown if they would have. And that's the thing. How could you sit here and say shit was imminent and you don't even have the accurate intel, GPS, and all that stuff? How do you know? Because obviously you don't. And I definitely do want to talk about the rounding up of our houseless veterans. That is absolutely what Snarky Veteran Lady said is absolutely true. And it's almost the same thing, just said in a different way as what Papa Storm was sharing. He's a veteran, he's a Black man. He was like, at one point in time I was a houseless veteran, and you could just hear the passion in his voice as he talked about it, and what they both said is correct. Like, and I think what kind of is what got my mind going was the fact that the VA, like, were like, okay, let's do this. Yeah, it's got a severe thunderstorm warning.
Yep. Where is it? And you believe everything you believe what we are being told. I don't believe anything coming out of this administration ever. Never. Like, it's not even a grain. I don't take what they say with a grain of salt. I literally think they've taken a whole like tub of salt and poured it on top of us when they're talking. That's how I look at anything coming out of this administration.
Basically wanting to, the ones that are they want to be able to say that they want to basically take like stewardship over them, basically like custody over them, saying that they can't care for themselves and put them all together in this place.
He fired the head of labor statistics because he didn't like the job numbers, and you trust. No, that's literally what
Obviously you haven't listened to anything that's been said.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Okay. it doesn't make me mad. It honestly makes me laugh that people that anything that I'm saying can actually be looked at that I trust this man. Like, that's fine. You come in here and you don't know. That's fine. That's fine. But if you watched any of my videos ever before you came in and talked, you would know that there is literally no trust whatsoever. It's hilarious to me. I'm at this point now where I just can't. I can't. I know the headline literally says job market is crashing. Trump is to blame.
Mm.
It's okay. It's really okay. It's okay. It's fine. I'm
And you know, and it's just, oh my God. That's why I don't trust them. That's why it's like all of a sudden you go from 4 service members to unalive. Now we're up to 7. Now there's like 140 injured. And I'm like, do people even think about the effects that that's going to have? It's not just those service members. How seriously are we talking injured? Are we missing limbs? Are we burnt? Are we what's going on? That means when they come home, they're going to have care. What's going to, their family's going to be, there's just so much, and these people are going to be mentally affected for the rest of their life by this shit. This is just.
Yep. I had a history teacher in high school tell us that a good way to stimulate the economy. They've said that for a while. I don't think that's the case anymore. Especially since even before, again, there are 2 different economies that we got going on right now. And that's part of the problem. We have the ultra wealthy economy, which is what most people talk about when they think of the economy being good, which is what this administration, which is what a lot of wealthy people point at when they say, oh, it's doing well. Like these people that come in and say, look at the stock market. Well, the stock market is not most of the economy. This economy has been propped up by literally 7 companies? And yeah, there will be some companies that are going to do well because this administration has literally spent will have spent most of the rest of our ordinance after this is all said and done. So they're going to be throwing money at Lockheed Martin and all the other companies that make this stuff in order to rebuild our stockpile. So yeah, in some ways it's going to seem good, but we know that there's so many cracks in the foundation of the US economy because we're seeing it all over. We're talking mortgages, we're talking
I don't know if you're not seeing what's happening in chat right now, but the language, y'all, you gotta tone down the language. Let's not. I don't know if you've not heard what Mike has literally said the last 2 days about the fact that things get misconstrued in chat sometimes, and that we're not supposed to just jump on people if we don't know what's being said. Like, I need y'all to chill. Like, we literally respect the space and the boundaries that Mike has literally set out the last 2 days. We're not cussing at one another. We're not calling each other's names. We're not doing that in this space. Sorry.
that's
Had to
fine.
mod for a minute.
And I apologize if you were talking to the right, not the host. And I've said this again before. All of us need to do better when we're typing in chat to make sure it's understood who you're talking about, because we cannot read minds, especially in text.
Please take the second to ask a clarifying question. Just please, because we don't know. And when people in chat, like if you say they, we don't know who they is or he or she. If you're not explicit, please, when you're making generalized statements, please make sure that you're addressing who, so we know, because we can't know unless you're up here actively talking.
I'll say this once real quick. It is really easy in this space, in any space where it's all text, to not fully understand what someone is saying. If we can't start with the assumption that we are all on the same page in terms of non-negotiables, if we do not have the capability of starting that way with everyone that comes in. Now, some people it's blatantly obvious. But if we do not have the capability of doing that, then I might as well stop doing these lives, because this isn't going to help. And I don't want to be saying that. But the goal of here is to increase conversation and to try and bring about better communication to a point where we can realize that we have the same fundamentals and learn to talk and work together to fix the problems that we see. But I'm going to be straight. As much as I love this community and I love what I do in my lives, if that's not possible, if I am somehow encouraging things to be worse, then I'm not going to do this anymore, as much as it would hurt my income. Because there is no way that I want to make things worse. And I mean, as a whole, if this situation, because of the way the internet is, because of everything that is going on, it's really easy to do that. It is really easy to do that, and I understand that. But we have got to figure out how to communicate better in this new world, right? This is a different situation that we're dealing with. What we've got going on here is different. Community via this is not perfect. It's no more perfect than community with your neighbors. I love this community. I've put how many years now into this community, Kia? How long have we known each other now? Almost 4 years?
Yeah. Yep, it's 2026. Yep. That sounds about right. Yep.
It was right before the 2022 midterms that I really started like pushing to grow this community.
Yep, because I saw you on Scott's Live that day. You had went up, and I like what you said, and I followed you and started modding for you. I was talking about that yesterday.
So let's keep talking about things. Let's keep figuring this out. And again, there will be pain. There will be misunderstanding. People will say wrong shit. But let's figure out how we can work through that with the understanding that the people that are willing to talk about it, like if someone says something and we say, wait a second, this is what I heard. And if their response after, let's hear the response after we do it. If they say something that could be misconstrued, let's Let's hear responses after. Because really, what is 5 seconds for a response, right? What is 5 seconds for a response? To potentially have someone who joins this community and becomes an integral part of it and grows this into something more. The 10 seconds we save to not push someone out who could become part of this community could mean the difference between this growing or dying. I love you guys, all of you. And I appreciate your empathy and your caring for marginalized communities, for what's going on in this world. But we got to be more than that. That doesn't mean we need to take people's shit. But we also aren't perfect. As I said before, I'm going to mess up. So if saying things perfect all the time is your bar, then I'm not the place for you. All right. Now we're back onto other things. And yes, if you are still here, is it Quang? I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
They followed.
Oh,
And
there you go.
Yep, they followed. They sent the heart me, so we appreciate it.
So we're all going through a lot of stuff right now. There's a lot of people that are super stressed. And there's a lot entering all of our brains. Again, I was talking to Rosa about it. We weren't meant to deal with as much as we're dealing with. Our brains weren't meant to deal with as much as we're dealing with. And it makes it really hard sometimes to think and process everything in a timely manner. It makes it really easy to just jump down people's throats. So.
And you know, one of the things I just want to add to that, just to put it into perspective, y'all, we're grown ass folks, right? I'm going to be 46 in 10 days. Okay. My brother here is like pushing 60. But imagine how our kids and young people are dealing with this. We're grown ass folks, right? And look at how hard of a time that we're having. So I just want to throw that out there because I think sometimes the young folks are getting forgotten and left out in these conversations and stuff. And just think about how hard of a time they're having dealing with the crazy shit in this world and how fast it's happening, and there's so much of it that they don't understand the adult nuance part of it, and it's just
Well, every one of our experiences causes us to respond differently to things. That's why it's just got to come back to we're all on the same team. We all have the same fundamentals.
Summer had a good point. Said also, if you need to walk away instead of explode, do that. I did yesterday, and you have to at you.
I can call you Jeff. Perfect. Hello, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, welcome in, Jeff. Welcome to the Nut House, as we call the community. Make sure you also follow along on the tube, same name. We've got a great community over there. It's actually a great place if you guys are not already following in both the places. Make sure you do that. You can have a more in-depth conversation there because we don't have the character limits and we don't have to worry about being filtered. We are currently streaming there as well right now if you guys want to pop in over there. Make sure you hit your thumbs up when you come in. That's all we ask. But definitely.
Detected inactivity.
I'm sorry, Steve. And I don't even have one right here that I could put on the camera for you either.
Someone promised me a cat. Your
Yeah,
name is Jeff too? Philip's name is Jeff.
Well, hi,
This is
Jeff.
confusing me now.
I was just like in Bex's name, Bex's live earlier. We had two different Cindy's.
I feel it's interesting. So, and this is the hard part. Like, there's a lot going on, obviously, and we'll keep talking about it every time stuff happens. But I feel like the stuff that we're talking about right now, is the part that we need to figure out first. Thank you, Courtney. That we need to figure out first before we truly can move on.
Yeah, it got to be funny with me and Steve. He would come into my live and he'd be like, okay, I want that kitten and that kitten. So it got to be a thing because he's in Germany, if you guys don't know. And he'd be like, okay, and I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna meet you. Their flight leaves at this time. He'd be like, okay, I'm waiting at the airport. And then it was like, okay, I'm standing at the airport in the snow and there's no cats. So it's just kind of like so if you
Gotcha.
see that, it's not him being like gross or being inappropriate. It's literally, we're talking junk about taking cats. We got a thunder. It's starting to get a little dark out there.
Yeah, it was raining hard here right before the live started. I don't hear it anymore, so it probably, our area is very weird. The area that I live in, I don't know if it's because of the way the clouds hit the mountains, but we will get some of the strong weather, but like right where we are just tends to like get those bands of nothing, and like it'll just keep forming all around us and we won't get hit as hard. I don't know why, but thank you, Courtney. You guys are super nice.
Yeah, but as somebody who gets their water from a well, having rain is so important. And I mean, my well is pretty deep. Unfortunately, I've had issues with my well, but it's like 210, 220, something like that, 250, I don't know. But yeah.
Stupid comments make stupid men, Mook. Now, I hope that's not what you meant. I hope you were saying something else. But if that's what if you actually meant to say that,
And Zeus sounds like he's like a little ankle biter dog. He's probably like 60 pounds. He comes up to the back of my knee. He just sounds like a little dog. And I'm curious about that.
You don't have to explain your side hustle to us, Kia. We don't judge, especially in these times.
Well, Silver, I got 15, 16 cats that I feed, so shit. Gotta have some kind of hustle.
True.
I just think, I know today, like, we started off really heavy and we kind of veered off, and I'm okay with that. The community part of it is just so important. I will definitely do that. He's just wanting, like, I've taken him out multiple times because I know when it starts storming, I'm going to have to go open my son's bathroom up for Zoe. She's my 13-year-old pitty that's terrified of storms. I already know what's happening. I just know it's coming.
Kia is on Only Pause selling Toby.
Toby gets on Only Pause. Oh my gosh. That was a good one, Carla. When my side gig subjected to inflationary rates. Well, I'm going to put on a fee for. Oh my gosh.
And again,
it's
oh, go.
I was going to say, like, because, like, And I know when I say this, there's going to be probably lots of comments because I mean, even with the 10, 15 people I usually have in my lives, we talk about it. Like having a sense of community is so important because like for me, like I come from a family where there was no politics. My mom doesn't vote. I honestly don't know if she ever has. Um and getting to talk about things and to share your feelings and share your frustrations and share the good parts of it and all the things, it's important to have that, and it's important to keep it safe, and how we keep it safe is by keep looking out for each other.
Hmm. Again,
Kitty chat is making things glitch.
and these are the things that we need to remember. There were points, and I remember these points in the beginning where we almost banned Scott. There were some conversations in the beginning. I don't remember what they were about, but I remember having talks with the mods about whether or not he would be able to handle what we were doing here because of some of the conversations we had. And that's why I find it so important that we make sure that we don't just judge them on one statement. Because if we just judge them on one if we just judged people on one statement, and Kia can tell you, Scott is very different than he was when he first joined this community. Hell, I'm different than when I first started this community.
I have to say, like with Scott, like before I say damn, because it's like I want to say two different things. We actually talked about this in my live yesterday with Vonda, because Vonda came over and was just like, "I'm sorry, I was so spicy," and I was like, "Girl." It's like that's how we know you. And I said, but even with Vonda at the beginning, we were like, okay, is she a bot? Like, what's going on? And then it's just like, okay, that's Vonda.
Yep,
You
that's
just
just Vonda.
you just kind of got to know. But like even with Scott, like you're right, like seeing so much growth in him, like it legit makes me proud, the growth I've seen with him, because I did used to struggle with Scott. I've told you before, him and I have had conversations,
Mm-hmm.
but I will tell you, Scott, in the growth that I've seen, and I hope he hears this, the growth I've seen, his willingness to be open to other people's way of thinking. Like he listens to me, he remembers what I said, and every time he brings up something that I said, whether it was a couple months ago or a couple years ago, it truly flatters me that he even remembers. There are sometimes I still want to be like, all right, Scott, we gotta get you back over here a little bit. But for the most part, I will speak on the growth part is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Scott has grown a lot, and I've seen it as somebody who's, from the beginning when he joined, like I have seen his growth, and I applaud and I appreciate it.
And again, what does it come down to? Like when we talk about things, Scott has a different perspective. It's because of how he grew up. It's because of when he grew up. It's because of how he's lived his life. He is very focused on very specific things. And you can tell when we have conversations, he always comes back to certain things while we're all talking about something else, which isn't a bad thing. They're both valid. But when it all comes down to it, no matter how often Scott gets angry at me or I get annoyed at Scott, assuming that either of those have happened or any of us have gotten annoyed at each other, we all know that our fundamentals are the same. We all know we're willing to learn. Actually, they did not blow up all of their mine boats, actually.
But just like they took care of all of that stuff over there last year in June, but right now it's an imminent threat. So was it actually all gotten rid of last year, like you said it was, or nah?
Even according to the reports by this administration, they blew up 13, which based on estimates from a lot of people is at most 20% of the boats they have. I think people think that the strait is tiny. It's not tiny. Like, it's not one of those things where you just like they can just put somebody there and not have to do like, and it's easy. Like,
He does agree with me because he's saying I'm right. That's what's happening right now. Mike struggles. I have to threaten him with genie in a bottle to make him say I'm right. But the dog, he always says I'm right.
Man.
I will for always and ever be right to him.
My headphones must be dying or something because sound just keeps going out.
See, even the cats agree with me.
Yeah, Lady
Oh,
Prairie,
geez.
Scott's legal expertise is great, but he even admits that he's wrong. He is very focused on, he goes way more, which is not a bad thing. He goes way more into as much evidence as humanly possible, which again isn't a bad thing. Evidence is important, especially depending on what you're talking about. And I think he struggles sometimes with the feelings that come with it. But again, that's his brain, the way his brain works compared to the way other people's brains works. Some people don't have that background, so they go based much more on how something that was said or done makes them feel. Neither one is wrong. Your feelings are never wrong, and the facts aren't wrong either. They might not coalesce, they might not coincide, but there's a group of people out there that think that because something is based on feelings, it shouldn't be talked about, it shouldn't even be considered, which is a lie. Because those same people don't listen to facts anyways. So it totally doesn't matter. They don't realize that their facts are all based on their feelings right now. So again, it's a whole issue. It's a whole issue.
I think Scott sees more in the black and white and less in the gray. Because like when I explain things to him, like then he gets it, like because like I said, one of the things that I was frustrated about is that when I would talk about my feelings, they were trying to combat my feelings with data. And that's frustrating.
Yeah.
And he has gotten a lot better with that. Like we've gotten to the point, like we have each other's phone numbers. We've had conversations about different things. And I appreciate that. Even you, like I've watched you even grow. Like the whole thing, like you used to always say, like we don't need term limits. We have term limits. It's the vote. And I kept saying, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Scott kept saying it. I don't agree with that either. And you guys have both just.
Well, and here's the thing. I think in a perfect world, or maybe not even a perfect world, I think if we as a country, and we talked about this yesterday, I think if we as a country did things the way we should do, it is Bluey. If we did things the way it should be done, we do have term limits built in. And I don't think we need them. I just don't think we're there. I think it's become blatantly obvious that, like, it was one of those things where I needed to get to a.
Kia was right. Just say
No. I needed to get to a point where we were trying to push people to, like, because since I have grown up, like, since I've been able to vote, there's never really been a push to vote in the primaries. Like, never. It's only been in the last little bit that there has been a greater push. And the one thing I've realized is even with the greater push, it's increasing it a little bit, but it's not increasing it enough. Not for me to feel like it's a viable option as a form of term limits. So again, the most important thing with all of this is conversation requires being willing to be wrong and being willing to have your mind change. Technically, what I was thinking wasn't wrong, but I was willing to have my mind changed because the realities were not how they should be. And sometimes you just got to live based on reality.
really think that plays a lot into what I was saying yesterday with the education aspect. So many people just truly don't understand what the primaries are, what they do, and why they're so important. Even now, like, and I appreciate it, and I struggle with it, and I can say that, but I appreciate when people ask because they don't understand. But then it's kind of scary, especially when they say they're past a certain age, because it's like, so do you not understand? It's like a lot, just like a lack of understanding. And I hope that going forward that becomes more important. It's crazy that one of the most important things that is expected of us, that's one of our rights, is so poorly taught on and expanded upon.
Yeah. And I think the reason that Scott always struggled, and a bunch of other people always struggled with the idea of when talking earlier on with, like, in this setting, is Scott's brain, the way he processes things, is when he tries to make sense, he goes to the data. When he tries to make sense of something that doesn't make sense, he always his he is, whether it's he's been taught or because of his work or who knows, but his thing is totally, Carla, I don't know what you're talking about. He always is about going to the data in order to make sense of the world. To him, the world makes data makes the world make sense. And is it right or wrong? It just is. And sometimes the key is letting someone like him. And I feel bad that there was somebody else who was part of this community that was very similar in some ways, that that chose to not continue that and is no longer here, because you can't force people to want to learn and to want to grow through the uncomfortability. That's also a reality that we have to accept. The world is a bit too chaotic for data alone for it alone to make it make sense, though. You're right, Victor. You're right. To an extent, that is true. There is too much chaos. The problem is when chaos exists, a person's natural reaction is to go to somewhere where it feels comfortable. We've talked about this with a lot of different things. It's why ultra conservative Christians love to go back to the Bible in the way they were taught. That's why ultra conservative Christians like the black and white that they were taught about the Bible. Because Alexa, cancel. We stupid robot got me out of what I was going to say. When something in the world goes against how they've been taught, it makes them uncomfortable. It makes them scared. So what they do is they go back to what they have always been taught, the black and white they'd always been taught. Going, this is right and wrong, is much easier for a brain to work through than, this may be wrong for you, but it is not wrong. Like, it is not, like, this idea, for some people's mind, this idea is that there is different levels of wrong. I don't even know if that's the right word to say, but there's wrong in different ways. Is societally wrong before, as opposed to personally wrong. I guess that's the closest I can say. It's hard sometimes for people to grasp that reality. Living in the gray. Yeah. Oh no, you're good, Kia. Scott's career as a lawyer is litigated on prior data. It becomes a habit. Yeah. Yeah. And he has done a lot of work. And he is, I would argue he is a friend. And that is why I lately have been putting so much. There you go, Kia. You got another galaxy.
Woohoo! Thank you, Stu. Oh, shizzle.
And thank you, Patty, by the way, and Bien, and Kelly, and everyone else that has given. I appreciate you. But that's why I'm putting so much focus on it right now. Because I think that might be what's holding us back a little bit. Because we haven't grown a lot. We're growing slowly. This community is growing slowly. But I think we all have work to do. I have work to do.
Like when I saw that you reposted Dr. Keisha's video today, like I legit was like, I love my brother. I just thought that was great that you shared that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kelly, you're right. And Carla, welcome to the Muckers.
Holla.
And just to put it out there, like if you guys don't follow Rev Carla has actually been doing a series about the whole Tallarico Crockett thing and like breaking it down and almost kind of like, what's that word, deconstructing it, like. And I was sitting there legit, I was like, thank you so much for doing this. It's just, if you haven't watched any of it, please check it out. And I'm sorry to like promote somebody else on your channel, but it definitely
You're fine.
goes in
I'm
line.
mutuals with Rev Carla. I'm good.
Yes, me too. And she's amazing. And she definitely goes along with what we do here.
Yep. I want to say this before I forget. So Kat on the other side said, you can't just exist on feelings. You need hard data. You need, the reality is we as human beings have both. If that makes sense. Feelings, like data's data. Look at that. You're getting all the gifts today. Look at you. Let's go.
Heck yeah, cat food.
Data is important, but feelings are things that you can't, like they just are. Like there's people that say like they don't have it, or it's only that we all have feelings, and feelings are based on our experiences and what we've learned and what we've done and all that other stuff. We can't control how we feel. That's why I always say someone's feelings about something may be reading it wrong. Let's put it that way. In some cases, like I say something and Kia hears something different. I obviously know I wasn't saying what she heard, but that doesn't change what she heard. So that's where the conversation comes in. Facts don't work on people that are unwilling to hear them. And that's the interesting thing about the people on the MAGA people on the right. They pretend that they are about facts, not feelings, when actually they are 100% about feelings. If you look at every aspect, every response, everything that they do, it is all feelings. The problem is they get mad feelings when they hear facts. And they latch onto any data that in any way can give them an out with their feelings. That's why they jump on it so hard. That's why they will never let it go when someone gives them a lifeline in their brain, a brain line, when it comes to anything they've grown up believing or thinking.
Hands up.
And again, it's one of those things where is it right? No. Is it make them dangerous? Obviously. Obviously. But in the same respect, this is the hard part about all of this. Regardless of what happens in 8 months or 2 years and almost 3 years, these people are still going to be in the United States. Some of them. A lot of them. 79 million people voted for this guy. Now, some of them are waking up, which is great. 100% great. But we've got to figure out, because again, it's, do we want just us to move forward? Or do we want America to move forward? Now, there's a whole load to that. And there's a whole load of problems that come with that. And there's a whole load of realities that come with that I understand. And we don't have time right now to talk about. You can be empathetic towards them, but still not let them walk away without consequences. This is the other thing that's hard, right? People think that empathy means forgiveness, or that empathy means understanding. It doesn't mean either of those. Empathy means listening and believing. When Kia, who has lived a life that I will never understand, says that something affects her, the empathetic thing to do is care that it affects her and try and learn why and have a conversation about what I meant when I said something, what she heard when I said that. And sometimes that'll mean me stopping saying what I'm saying. Because let's be fair, for all the people that complain that they can't say what they used to be able to say, grow the hell up. Like, you don't like that you can't say? How can you deal with this level of delusion? Sometimes you can't. I am not going, and I've said this before, I will not have a conversation with anyone who does not have the ability to have one. A lot of people come in and they want to debate me. You'll see it a lot. They want to debate me. I won't do it. I won't do it. And I know why you're asking that, Victor. Thought it was okay to give this man. Well, and here's the thing about that 79 million people. It shows a bigger problem in this country, because I guarantee, let's be reserved. I would say probably half of those people that voted for that man convinced themselves that they didn't need to pay attention to anything else but their ability to survive. And they heard a man say, if you vote for me, I will help you survive. They heard the other side saying that the economy was good when they knew it wasn't. Look at this administration. Why are they suffering right now? Because they're literally doing the exact same thing that the last president did and say that things are good when we know they're not. That's why people are turning. It's not just them, it's all of us. Was a proven liar. If you feel that no one is listening to you, and again, I'm not talking the far right. Those far right, I'm talking about the people that easily flip back and forth. If you work 2 jobs or barely surviving and you hear one person, regardless of life, and you assume, and again, we need to understand, how many times have you heard or said in your entire life that all politicians lie? How many times? I know I said it a ton. I know I believe that most do. It's one of the things that I appreciate about a lot of the people that are running now is they aren't promising things. But say you're a mom, a single mom or a single dad, or just a family, and you're struggling, especially if you're in like rural, and you know that you're reacting to struggling, and you hear the current president saying, look at how good the economy is. We've had the fastest recovery ever. Things are great, but things aren't great for you. And you hear the person who's running, again, we could have discussions on how good of a talker he is. He said, if you vote for me, you will all succeed. You will all have money. Should they have believed him? That's a whole different problem. Arguably, he shouldn't have won the nominee to begin with. He shouldn't have won the nomination to begin with. And again, that goes back to the fact that people do not vote in primaries. Arguably, we have a danger of doing the exact same thing in the midterms and the next general election that this current administration and the last did. And I don't mean like did. Obviously, what Biden did was much better for the economy as a whole than what this administration is doing. I'm talking about in terms of what we are communicating to people. We as voters need to understand that things are not going to be fixed easy. Not going to happen. It's just not. In order to truly fix things, we are going to have to get more involved in a way that is going to be painful, that is going to cause us to break down and lie down in a fetal position every once in a while just to get it out. That's a reality of the world we live in right now. That whether we as a society, whether by action or inaction, helped create. I don't mean specifically everyone, although I'm sure every one of us could find some moment where we didn't do as much or didn't say something in the way that could have helped things. I'm not going to speak for anybody. I can only speak for myself, and I know I did. That's why I keep asking. What do you want this world to be, and how much work are you willing to do to get it? And again, as much as I'm going to understand that what I'm about to say is not saying that this way that I'm saying is the only way that each one of you should do it. But I'm interviewing people, a minimum a dozen a week, that by all intents and purposes, obviously, maybe they're lying to me, but are people that don't want to be politicians. They're doing it because they're tired of the status quo. They're tired of being told that this is the only way. They're tired of seeing their friends, their family, themselves suffering while the people at the top are just rolling in cash.
And got us down here fighting against each other.
And got us fighting down here.
It's almost, I almost kind of liken it, like if you've ever seen Game of Thrones or any of like the shows with like the Roman Colosseums with like the gladiator type thing, where you have all the folks with
Yeah.
the money and the stuff, the leadership and all the rulers sitting up and literally watching people like battle each other to unaliving or whatever. That's truly what it makes me feel like what's happening. And we can't, just like I said the other day, it's just like the whole thing with like this black versus brown thing. Like, in order for this, like this, part of the thing that can help make us on our way to be good or great is for people to understand that those of us at the bottom, we are like, we are literally doing all of their work for them while they literally just sit there. They just sit there and reap the the commas in their bank accounts.
Yep. And again,
while we sit here and struggle.
And again, let's take the Democratic Senate race in Texas. There are a lot of realities that could be true into why Jasmine Crockett lost that have nothing to do with race or gender. I'm saying that, but I want you to hear what I'm saying after. None of that matters. And I want to tell you why it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because people that voted for Jasmine Crockett are upset. And the reason they're upset are for valid reasons. And that is why, no matter what, we need to A, give them time to be angry because they have every right to be. Nothing I can say is going to make anybody that is angry. No data I can give is going to make anyone who is angry for a valid reason, or even a non-valid reason, but these are valid, be not angry. The only thing me coming out and doing and saying things like we've got to come together, she ran a bad race, all of the things that people are saying, which again are, if you're talking maybe big picture statements, may be true. But that doesn't matter, and we need to accept that. We as people that aren't upset for whatever reason we aren't upset. And I'm putting myself in a we, even though I am actually kind of upset. We need to learn to talk to each other and listen to each other. The internet is one of the most amazing things that has ever existed. It's allowed me to have this community of people across not just the country, but the globe. But it has also made us very quick to speak and very slow to listen. I know Tallarico gave some people the ick that he didn't give me. But again, I'm also a guy who looks like me and is a Christian. I can give you every reason why I think that he will be a good candidate, but I also have to accept that I could be completely wrong. And every reason that people have to not like him could be true. Everyone that has the ick for him could end up being wrong. And I'm sure everyone here that has felt the ick coming from him hopes that they're wrong.
There was a pew-pewing at Old Dominion, 2 injured in shooting inside the building. Sorry. At Old Dominion University. The person, the pew-pewer, is unalived. It's in Virginia, for those that don't know. Police and federal agents say they're responding to a thing that was 6 minutes ago and then just updated from WREO.
There's we'll talk about it in just a second. I just want to finish this.
Mm-hmm.
There is a desire for people that are scared about the future to want to defend because they think that if they believe there's something that they could say.
Welcome to the Amuckers. Mike Slips just joined the Amuckers. Oh my gosh.
Because they think that there is something, they hope, they believe, they have to believe in their own mind that there is something that they can say or do that would make them, that could fix the problem. Here's the thing, and Crime Lord, I hear you. I hear what you're asking, and obviously that is a very valid concern for a lot of us right now. At this point, it doesn't matter. And I again, this is this desire to try and find a reason as to why. Thank you, Lisa, for 3 months. There's this desire for us to find a reason to justify the other person losing in the hopes of convincing people that are upset to not be upset anymore. I understand that feeling. I really do. But we also need to understand that these are two people. Different people, but two people that by all intents and purposes have fought for the things that we keep saying we want them to fight for. And we are allowing people that probably want neither of them to get in to pit us against each other instead of letting the people that are sad and upset be sad and upset. And then us moving on as a coalition of people. James Tallarico is the nominee. No amount of anger or excitement or convincing or whatever is going to change that. Let the people that are upset be upset. They have every right to be upset. Their reasoning for it is real, is valid, especially if you understand history in any way, shape, or form. You should understand it. I made a video about it. The idea that, again, the only choice to help us take back this country is a guy who looks like me, who's also a Christian, when the entire history of this country, except for the one man literally at the top and everyone else under him was still looked like me in general, is the only way we can fix this problem is messed up. Now, again, did everyone who voted in either way vote for the reason that some people are upset? For that reason that I'm talking about? No. Everyone had their own reason. We're talking about a little bit, Mikey. But in the end, this is where we're at. People are upset. Let them be upset. Have the conversations. Don't try and fix the problem. This isn't a problem that you can fix. Not this way, at least. Unfortunately, the only way we're going to fix that problem is by completely rewriting the Constitution and completely doing a lot of work on society as a whole. There's a lot. When I say there's a lot we've got to work through, there's a lot we've got to work through as a society. We've gotten bad at listening. We've got bad at being willing to be wrong. We've gotten bad at remembering who we are. And I know this isn't a problem that we're going to fix in one of these. It's probably why we've talked about it now, 3 days? We've probably talked about it almost the entire week in some way, shape, or form.
Do you mind if I read the slides from Dr. Keisha's post?
No, go for it.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Or I can pull it up. I got it right here. It was the last thing I reposted. Oh, you want to read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just posted as a black woman coming from a black woman. I just want to read it. She actually just replied to my comment. So it's actually open on my iPad.
There you go.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys follow, but Dr. Keisha Davis, she's a doctor, she's a pathologist, she's triple board certified. She has lives on TikTok about things that are happening in the medical community, and she speaks a lot on, she also has several other black women doctors that are multiple board certified on her panel. But she did a post the other day, and I shared it in both mine and Mike's Diski. It says, "A Black Woman's Perspective. Let's be honest. The criticism of Jasmine Crockett, Stacey Abrams, and Kamala Harris is deeper than you think. If the issue was timing, imagine always having to run 10 steps behind your counterpart just to reach the same destination at the same time. If the issue was tone, imagine constantly having to fight to prove yourself with the same credentials, sometimes even better results, yet still being told you aren't enough. So over time, you develop a stronger voice, a firmer presence, and a resilient persona just to be heard. If the issue was location, imagine living in a land your ancestors fought for and built, yet still being told directly or indirectly that you don't belong. And imagine being pushed out of institutions that serve communities that are disproportionately affected by disease, health disparities, and systemic barriers. You say it was timing, you say it was tone, you say it was location, but sometimes the truth is this: the bar isn't the same, the expectations aren't the same, and the road has never been the same. Yet Black women keep showing up. We have been shaped by our communities, our history, and our environment, and despite every barrier, we continue to rise. That brought tears to my eyes again. When I watched it this morning, it brought tears to my eyes, and I told her as such. But that's it. That's what I've been up here trying to say, and she just put it way more eloquently than I ever could.
Yep. Don't you have to read member chat? Lisa, I don't know what you're talking about. I think this must be glitching. I did not see any, you know, your
Oh, Lisa, gotcha. You gotta say it. That's supposed to be one of the perks of having the membership is that your comments get read.
Oh, I read it.
You didn't read it out loud.
Did it say out loud?
That's what we always do. We're supposed to read out loud the comments. Come on. Damn, Lisa, I just thought about that. He didn't read any of those damn super chats yesterday.
My live is being glitchy. Yep. Wish I were surprised.
That's why I wanted to read it, because as eloquent as Mike can be, there's no way he's gonna feel it the same way I can.
Sure.
And I did. And it just, man, that just really, and that's what Mike is saying, and everything that Mike has said, that's exactly what she posted, but from a Black woman's perspective. And I shared it in both our Diskies, like I said. So if you wouldn't mind, whether it's through Mike's or mine, if you wouldn't mind going in there and like when I looked at it, there was only 164 likes on that. 164. If you guys wouldn't mind going in and engaging with it, I'd really appreciate it.
Am I hiding the truth?
Yes, he is.
Gosh. Also, I'm this is again I mentioned it a little bit for a second that I'm interviewing so many people. Please go and watch them. We need to give these people visibility and name recognition. There are, if you add both together, there are almost 100 people. And there are videos that I've posted over there that have not gotten 100 watches.
I finished up the one from Iowa, I believe, this morning. And
Stephanie?
you know, and I think so. I'm sorry, Mike. I don't remember almost none of their names, honestly. I just remember what they talk about more so. But one of the things I thought was amazing, I was like, see, this is the shit I've been saying, that I feel that people who were becoming, like, especially in the middle of the country, that were disenfranchised by the feeling disenfranchised by corporate Dems. They've forgotten about those people, because she is saying all this farmer speak. I don't know what most, I get it, but I don't know and understand it in the way she does. But I was like, see, when you're running in Iowa, this is the things that you need to be talking about. When you're running in the middle of the country, if you're a president, you're going to be a president for those people too. You need to be out there, and you need to be talking about those kind of things and those kind of details, because that's what matters to those folks.
Yep. And these people are people that have literally are running straight on exactly what we keep saying we want them to run on. And they're not sitting here going, they're not just spewing lip service. They're going far. There's a reason, like, one of the questions I always ask them is, what does accountability look like to you? What does it mean to you? So they're always coming out and saying, like, they're straight up saying, this is what accountability looks like. This is how I want to be held accountable. These are the things that my district are talking about as a problem. These are what I hope to do if I'm voted in. And the whole point of it is to give you a good idea of not just what they stand for, but who they are. And even if you are not living in those districts, not only does it give you a little hope, because these are just some amazing people running for office, but the more you guys watch it, the better the chance that someone in their district will see it. The better the chance that name recognition will exist for these people. Because that's all they got. They don't got $2 million, $10 million for ads and mailers and everything else.
I know we're getting ready to end, so I'm not going to do a long commercial, but if you haven't sent your heart me already, please do that. Collect your points, do all the good things.
I'm actually going to get a day off today. No interviews were signed up for today. Just randomly. Every other day did, but more trust in our politicians. If we need to, they need to prove that we can trust them, but you should never fully trust anyone. Hold them accountable. Don't let them walk all over us anymore. That's the point. They're all over the country. All over the country. That's true, Philip. Thank you.
You're supposed to read super chat.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I'm gonna read the super chat. The super chat says Kia is right. Sometimes pickles are good.
No.
Go ahead,
You did not put that period in the right place.
I'm gonna tell y'all, like Mike said, part of the perks of being a member is that when you do a comment or a super chat, that he will read it out loud.
You did not put
all of them.
You did not put the period in the right place on that statement.
Nope, come on. Tell him, muckers. Talk about accountability. How are you going to talk about accountability if you won't even follow?
I'm not running for office.
Damn it. Go ahead, read and read out the super chats like you're supposed to. See, Carla said, was I gypped? Right, Rosa, in Women's Month. He's gypping us in Women's Month. Come on. Gosh,
don't you use it being Women's Month. Jeez. But seriously, guys, help out. I know some of these aren't exciting, but these are great, amazing people that are trying to help this country and do something that literally none of us are willing to do.
Come on, there's another one. Don't let your members down. Come on, muckers. You're a muckers. That's part of their muckership is you reading out their super chats. Go ahead and say it. Just go ahead. Hey, at least you didn't have to do it the 13 other ones you've already gotten. So you could just end on a great note reading that amazing super chat. And I will have a smile on my face all day.
Technically, the goal was if I hit the goal, I would say it, not every single time. If I say it every single time, it has no value.
I know, but this time I think it's pretty dang good. I could always sing my song again, and I got my face on camera so you could see me.
You know what I could do to prevent that from happening.
It's okay. You can't get rid of me that easily, damn it.
Thank you guys. Seriously. Thank you for all of you that are really supporting. I know we joke about this and Key and I get a lot of laughs for this stuff, but it means more to me than you possibly can know, the amount of support you guys are already giving. For those of you that come on and spend the whole 2.5 hours here, it means the world. For those of you that support financially through gifts and subs and membership and super chats, it means the absolute world to me. And I am, it makes me want to keep coming on, which is why Patty, Kia is great. Great.
Wrong 5-letter word.
That's what she wrote.
Damn it, Patty.
Kia is great.
Hang on, then you have to read Lisa's.
I know what you're talking about. I read them.
You gotta read Philip's.
But that is why I spent so much time today talking about what I talked about, because that's how important this community is to me. That's how important I think this community is to what we're doing. You're good. She's apologizing. You don't need to apologize. That is why I'm spent 3 times talking about this, because it is that important that we understand that that in order to grow, we have to be a place where people can grow. And if we only accept people that already have all their shit together, then we are done as a community. So understand that the expectation is not perfection. The expectation is growth and understanding and empathy and humanity. So nope. Guys, good. I hope you guys know that you guys are amazing and I love y'all just the way you are. Stay safe. I can't even remember my lines. You are amazing just the way I love y'all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, and smile. Do something that makes you happy. I love you guys. Bye. Bye, guys. I love you. Thank you. You guys.